So last time we talked about using the pen tool as a means of isolating portions of a photograph. This week we're going to start looking at something called the layer mask. And the layer mask is really a superior way of isolating pixels on a layer. And the reason why is because of its flexibility. So let me start by just showing you how a layer mask works. Layer masks can be applied to a layer. I have the polishes layer selected here. This is the project you're going to be working on this week, in fact. I'm going to click on the Add Layer Mask icon on the Layers panel, and you can see that I now have an additional thumbnail on that layer. That thumbnail is the layer mask. And there's a little trick to understanding how layer masks work, very easy. You can see that the thumbnail is completely white, and nothing on the layer is obscured. Layer masks will obscure portions of a photograph or a layer and reveal areas of a layer. So everything is revealed right now, and that brings me to the little trick I have for you guys to help you remember which color to paint with. And that is black conceals, white reveals. The layer mask is white, so everything is visible. I'm going to click on the icon to get my colors, my foreground and background colors set so that I have black in the foreground now. And I'm going to paint on the layer mask. I'm painting with black, and as you can see, I'm not getting black on the screen. In fact, it's actually removing the polish. Okay, and we're going to see here why layer masks are so advantageous. So I want to remove the polish, but I want to leave everything else but the polish. You can see here on the layer mask, the black area is what is concealed. Now here's the really great part about layer masks, and this is the flexibility and that they're non-destructive. If I get really aggressive in removing the polish, if I've deleted those pixels, it's a little bit more difficult to get them back. I mean, of course I can just hit Control-Z and undo, but that's going to bring back everything. And what if I delete pixels, close a file, save the file, then open the file back up? There is no undo. Those pixels are gone. With the layer mask, I have the flexibility of just simply painting back with white, which reveals. And it brings back the pixels that I desire. So a lot of flexibility, non-destructive edits. And I can zoom in there. Let's change the size of my brush. And now I'm going to use a little keyboard shortcut to toggle back and forth between my background and foreground color. If I press X on the keyboard, it toggles those. I want to go back to the black and just get that just right out of there. So very, very easy to use and just a fantastic tool. Like I said, non-destructive. That is one of the most important parts of layer masks, is that it is non-destructive. If you look over here on the thumbnails, you can see that the nail polish still exists in this layer on this image, but it is obscured by the layer mask. I've just painted black on the layer mask. Now you got to be careful that you're actually painting on the layer mask. You look at the two thumbnails up here, and you see how this thumbnail has the selection around it. If I can click on the image thumbnail, I now have the selection on the image thumbnail. And now if I paint, I'm actually painting on the image. So go back to the layer mask. Actually, I need to hit undo so I get rid of that first. But back on the layer mask, and now if I paint with the correct color, it'll obscure things, switch it back, and bring those pixels back. So far superior method of editing a file. It gives us a lot of flexibility. Now, for the exercise for the book, they're actually going to have you create an additional layer, and I wanted to show this just a little trick to help you out with this project. They're going to have you create two layers, one that doesn't have the red polish, one that does. I am, with that layer selected, the polishes layer selected, going to hit Control and J on the keyboard, and that's going to duplicate that layer. So now I have two layers, and I believe it tells you to call the copied one red polish. So I've changed that layer name. Now, this is a really slick trick. If I want a layer with just the red polish, I'm going to invert the color. You can invert the color of a photograph. You can also invert the color of a layer mask. So Control I, now the layer mask, the colors have inverted. What was white before is black, what was black before is now white, and now I have the red polish on another layer. And it needs to be cleaned up, but you get the picture. And they also are going to have you put that behind, and then you are going to, on the polishes layer, mask out that polish so that the red polish then comes through. So it looks more complicated in the text than it really is, and I just wanted to show you that. Now if I move this layer down, whoop, wrong one. There we go, that's what I wanted. Now obviously there's still some work to be done, but it does look a little bit like that polish is where it should be. And just get rid of that extra polish there. But that's the basics of layers. We can hide, we can reveal areas of a layer without actually deleting the pixels, so it's a non-destructive method of editing. And I keep on saying non-destructive because that is a really important key here with layer masks. We're not destroying any pixel information. One of the things that makes this a very powerful method of editing.